Prince Harry reportedly stumbled upon fragments of Meghan Markle's mysterious past connections at Soho House, the world of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex was said to have tilted once again.
Could Meghan Markle's glamorous pre-royal life secretly be rewriting the rules of the monarchy? Piers Morgan just shook the world by exposing never-before-seen photos and revealing a secret Soho House VIP list that reportedly left the royal family stunned. While Meghan prepares to welcome a new baby, these revelations suggest that behind her public image of elegance and humility lies a lifestyle far more luxurious and strategically connected than anyone imagined. What do you think? Does this change the way we see the Duchess of Sussex? When most people think of Meghan Markle, the image that immediately comes to mind is of a humble, determined actress, quietly building her career. You know the picture. Green juices on Instagram, journaling about self-reliance and personal growth, and calmly navigating the highs and lows of Hollywood life. She has long portrayed herself as someone who faced obstacles head-on, overcoming rejection and setbacks with grace, all while remaining down-to-earth and relatable to the public. This image resonated with many people around the world, painting Meghan as a modern, self-made woman who didn't rely on privilege, but instead carved her own path through persistence and authenticity. It was easy to believe, especially because she shared glimpses of this life through interviews, social media posts, and charitable work, creating an aura of sincerity and approachability. But behind this carefully curated public persona lies a reality that is far more glamorous, strategic, and influential than most people realize. Before she met Prince Harry and became the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan reportedly lived a life that few could imagine. One filled with luxury parties, private jets, high-profile events, and memberships in some of the most exclusive clubs in the world. This side of her life paints a striking contrast to the modest, struggling actress image she projected. While the public saw someone quietly building her career, insiders describe Meghan as a woman deeply embedded in elite social circles, moving confidently among the wealthy, famous, and powerful. Her private world was one of opportunity and influence, where every event and every connection could open doors far beyond Hollywood, setting the stage for the life she would eventually lead alongside Prince Harry.
But the deeper target of these rumors seems to be Soho House itself. Online discussions paint it as more than a private club, more like a social machine, connecting ambitious young creatives with powerful individuals who could.
One of the most intriguing pieces of this hidden life is Meghan's connection to Soho House, a private, members-only club known for its strict exclusivity and elite clientele. For the uninitiated, Soho House isn't just another trendy nightclub or social venue. It is a secretive sanctuary for actors, musicians, entrepreneurs, and billionaires, where the rules of entry are deliberately selective and the atmosphere is designed to foster both privacy and networking among the global elite. Being part of this world is a statement of status and influence, and for someone like Meghan, it wasn't merely about attending parties, it was a strategic move. Soho House offered her access to opportunities, connections, and people who could help shape her career in ways that regular Hollywood interactions never could. It was a place where deals, introductions, and alliances happened quietly, behind dimly lit interiors and sleek, carefully designed spaces that encouraged conversation, collaboration, and influence. Inside Soho House, the environment is unmistakably luxurious, yet intimate. Imagine rooms bathed in soft, ambient lighting, filled with modern decor, velvet seating, and polished wooden floors. Guests move gracefully through these spaces, dressed impeccably, sipping champagne or craft cocktails, engaging in conversations that could change the trajectory of their careers. It's the kind of place where casual encounters can turn into life-changing connections, and where influence is exercised as much through subtle gestures as through formal introductions. For someone aiming to expand her network and secure a foothold in elite circles, it was the perfect environment. every corner of Soho House exudes a sense of exclusivity, a place where privacy is respected, and where each gathering, from intimate dinners to lively soirees, is curated with care to attract the right mix of people. There, Harry describes how Meghan treated Soho House as a personal sanctuary, a place they used to meet discreetly and enjoy privacy. He highlights moments where she was deeply familiar with the space, but here's where the story gets even more fascinating. Sources suggest that Meghan didn't just attend these events. She reportedly maintained her own VIP list at Soho House. This means she had a say in who could access certain gatherings, creating a carefully curated environment where she controlled not only her social interactions, but also the flow of influence around her. It's one thing to be invited into exclusive circles. It's another to actively shape them, deciding who makes it into these inner sanctums. This strategic control highlights a side of Meghan that sharply contrasts with the modest, humble image presented to the public. She wasn't just a participant in elite circles. She was quietly orchestrating her own sphere of influence, positioning herself in a way that maximized opportunities for visibility, connection, and advancement. A key figure in this story is Marcus Anderson, the global membership director of Soho House, who played a subtle yet powerful role in Meghan's social ascent. While not a celebrity himself, Marcus is someone who understands the inner workings of privilege, influence, and exclusivity. According to insiders, he acted as a guide, helping Meghan navigate the club's complex social ecosystem and introducing her to people whose connections could open doors far beyond the confines of Soho House. Through his mentorship and strategic guidance, Meghan gained access to private events, luxury yacht gatherings, and networking opportunities that would have been nearly impossible for an ordinary actor to secure. Marcus's role underscores that Meghan's rise in these elite circles wasn't accidental. It was deliberate, carefully planned, and executed with precision. The contrast between Meghan's public and private worlds is striking. On the one hand, she appeared as a humble, grounded woman who spoke openly about perseverance, self-reliance, and a modest Hollywood journey. On the other hand, her private life involved luxury, exclusivity, and strategic social maneuvering that positioned her among the most powerful and influential figures in entertainment and beyond. The Soho House VIP list, the curated gatherings, and the guidance from influential insiders like Marcus Anderson reveal a side of Meghan that few ever saw. A side that was calculating, ambitious, and unapologetically elite. It challenges the narrative of the struggling actress and invites questions about how public images are crafted, maintained, and sometimes carefully contrasted with private realities. This duality also explains why revelations about Meghan's Soho House connections have such a dramatic impact. When photos or insider accounts surface, showing her mingling with high society before her royal life, the public is confronted with a reality that conflicts with years of storytelling about humility and struggle. The contrast is almost cinematic. The wholesome image of green juice and journaling versus private yachts, champagne-filled rooms, and meticulously planned parties where access was tightly controlled. For the royal family, these revelations add another layer of complexity. They illustrate that Meghan's understanding of status, influence, and networking was already highly developed before she stepped into royal life, potentially reshaping how insiders view her integration into one of the most scrutinized families in the world. It's important to note that these insights don't necessarily diminish Meghan's achievements. Rather, they paint a fuller picture of a woman who understood the power of social positioning and influence, someone who leveraged the right opportunities at the right time to advance both her career and her personal brand. The Soho House connection, the VIP list, and the mentorship she received all contributed to a carefully orchestrated path that led from Hollywood to the global stage she now inhabits. It shows an awareness of social dynamics and the mechanics of elite networks that few people outside these circles truly understand. The story of Meghan Markle and her Soho House VIP list serves as a reminder of the complexities behind public personas. While the world sees the carefully crafted image of humility, struggle, and self-reliance, there exists a private narrative filled with strategy, exclusivity, and high-level connections. It's a fascinating glimpse into how social capital is built, how influence is wielded quietly, and how even the most polished public figures maintain layers of private reality that can surprise and intrigue the public when they are revealed. For Meghan, the Soho House experience wasn't just a series of glamorous nights. It was a strategic chessboard where she positioned herself among the powerful, created opportunities and quietly shaped her path to becoming one of the most recognized and discussed figures in the world today.
Luxury and riches that she got by marrying a handsome British prince.
Inspired.
By marrying a lot.
Yes.
A life of unparalleled luxury and riches that she got by marrying a handsome British prince.
Inspired, as it says, inspired by Soho House. Am I wrong? I thought Soho House was like not doing well, or
it was a moment that had the entire studio on edge and viewers glued to their screens. Piers Morgan appeared live on air, holding a stack of exclusive, never-before-seen photos of Meghan Markle. He didn't shout, he didn't exaggerate. He simply presented the images calmly, letting them speak for themselves. And speak they did. Almost immediately, you could feel the tension in the studio. Co-hosts exchanged stunned glances, their mouths slightly open, eyes widening as they tried to process what they were seeing. The atmosphere was thick with surprise and disbelief. Morgan's delivery was deliberate, each photograph carefully placed in view, almost daring the audience to look closer. It was as if the room collectively realized that this was more than a celebrity gossip segment. It was a revelation that challenged everything the public had believed about Meghan Markle.
I expected that.
Has always had this very, very strange fascination with Soho House, very much this weird obsession with it.
Do you see any of the real Diana in Meghan? Did
God,
you?
no.
Really?
No. Sorry. We are on sense.
The photos themselves were striking. They showed Meghan at luxury gatherings that could easily rival the most high-profile Hollywood events. There were intimate soirees on private yachts, sparkling under the sun, with champagne glasses clinking and laughter echoing over the water. There were gatherings at Soho House, the exclusive members-only club, where she was seen confidently mingling with actors, musicians, entrepreneurs, and billionaires. These weren't casual meetups. They were carefully curated environments designed to foster connections among the elite. Meghan looked comfortable, familiar with the surroundings, smiling, chatting, and clearly at ease in a world far removed from the modest, struggling actress image she had so carefully cultivated. The contrast was jarring. Here was a woman who, for years, had portrayed herself as someone quietly building her career, juggling challenges with grace, sipping green juice, and journaling about personal growth. Yet these images revealed a reality that was almost the polar opposite: glamour, privilege, and strategic networking at the highest levels. Almost as soon as the segment aired, social media erupted. Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok were flooded with screenshots of the photos, reactions, and heated debates. Hashtags began trending within minutes, some expressing shock, others skepticism. Memes circulated rapidly, poking fun at the stark contrast between Meghan's public persona and what the photos suggested. Fans defended her, claiming context was missing or that the images were misleading, while critics argued that the photos exposed a carefully managed double narrative. Discussions spilled over into podcasts, talk shows, and online forums, each platform dissecting every detail from her wardrobe to the locations, and even speculating on who had been invited to these private events. For many, it was a wake-up call, a realization that Meghan's life before the royal family had layers that the public had never been privy to. The implications of these photos were profound. They weren't just snapshots of luxury. They were evidence of a network of influence that Meghan had cultivated long before entering royal life. These gatherings were not merely about socializing, they were strategic. Each introduction, each handshake, and each private conversation had the potential to open doors to opportunities, relationships, and visibility that could elevate her career to global prominence. The images reinforced the idea that Meghan was not merely a lucky actress who happened to meet Prince Harry. She was someone who understood the dynamics of elite social circles and leveraged them expertly to position herself for the life she ultimately achieved. To fully understand this contrast, it helps to look at Meghan's curated public image. For years, she presented herself as humble, relatable, and grounded. Interviews highlighted her dedication, perseverance, and ability to overcome challenges in Hollywood without relying on privilege or connections. Social media posts reinforced this persona with glimpses of everyday life, wellness routines, and charitable work. It was a story that resonated with the public, a narrative of struggle, self-improvement, and quiet determination. But the private reality revealed by the photos tells a different story. It's a world of exclusive memberships, luxury yachts, and elite events, where relationships are not just personal but strategic. This duality challenges the authenticity of the public image, showing a side of Meghan that had been carefully shielded from the public eye. Harry's memoir, Spare, adds another layer of insight. In the book, Harry describes Soho House as a private retreat where he and Meghan often met quietly, away from the prying eyes of paparazzi and fans. He notes her familiarity with the staff and the environment, suggesting a relationship with the space that went beyond casual visits. These details reinforce the idea that Meghan had long-standing access to elite circles, and that her presence in such spaces was both intentional and strategic. She wasn't stumbling into these environments by chance. She had cultivated relationships and established herself within a world that valued discretion, influence, and social capital.
Meghan Markle posted a bizarre video on her social media yesterday, which sent several people into absolute meltdown. It is the cringiest, most uncomfortable piece of tape.
Another fascinating aspect of this revelation is the digital erasure that seems to accompany it. Many of Meghan's earlier posts, photographs, and even friends appear to have vanished from her online presence. Old Instagram posts that may have shown luxury events or high-profile gatherings have been deleted, timelines have been edited, and social connections quietly disappear. It's as if a careful cleanup has been undertaken to align her public persona with the narrative of humility and struggle. This digital curation isn't unusual for celebrities, but in Meghan's case, it highlights the deliberate control over the story she presents to the world. The public sees a carefully constructed version of her life, while the private reality, revealed in photographs and insider accounts, paints a picture of strategic positioning and elite privilege. Deliberate narrative control is at the heart of this story. Meghan's public image emphasizes humility, perseverance, and relatability. It's a persona designed to resonate with a global audience, to generate admiration and empathy. Meanwhile, her private life demonstrates sophistication, strategy, and an understanding of how to navigate high-level social circles to her advantage. This duality is fascinating because it challenges our assumptions about celebrity, authenticity, and influence. It suggests that public figures can manage multiple narratives simultaneously, presenting one version to the world while carefully cultivating another behind closed doors. In Meghan's case, the Soho House photos, her familiarity with the staff, the strategic gatherings, and the apparent erasure of certain digital footprints all reinforce the idea that her rise was not only about talent and opportunity, but also about savvy social navigation. The Piers Morgan reveal acted as a catalyst, bringing this carefully hidden side of Meghan's life into public discussion. The photos did more than shock viewers. They prompted questions about the intersection of personal strategy, social networks, and public perception. For fans and critics alike, the images challenged the narrative they had accepted for years. They also illustrated how the media, social platforms, And even memoirs like Spare can intersect to reveal hidden dimensions of a public figure's life. Meghan's life before the royal family was complex, layered, and strategic, combining personal ambition with an understanding of influence and access that few outside her inner circle could fully appreciate.
All began years before Harry, in a place where masks were easy to wear and even easier to hide behind. Flashback to Jamaica 2011. The sun was warm, the music was loud, and Meghan Markle was on top of the world.
The Soho House photos, the reactions in the studio, and the social media frenzy illustrate the tension between public persona and private reality. Meghan's story reminds us that public figures, especially those thrust into global attention, often manage multiple narratives at once. The curated image of humility and struggle can coexist with a private reality of luxury, influence, and strategy. It's a reminder that what we see in the media is rarely the full picture, and that behind the headlines and Instagram posts, there may be a complex web of relationships, opportunities, and decisions shaping a person's path. For Meghan Markle, the reveal of her Soho House connections, her VIP list, and the carefully managed aspects of her life offer a rare glimpse into the mechanisms of influence, the power of social networks, and the deliberate crafting of a global persona, one that is as strategic as it is glamorous. Stepping into the British royal family is far from a casual decision. It comes with a set of expectations that are unlike anything most people experience. Royals are expected to maintain absolute discretion in their personal lives, to exercise restraint in both public and private actions, and to carefully control the image they present to the world. Every word, gesture, and appearance is scrutinized, not just by the press, but by the public and even international observers. There are long-standing traditions and protocols to follow, and the weight of history can feel overwhelming. The public doesn't just see a person, they see a representative of centuries of monarchy. Every member's behavior reflects on the family as a whole, and any deviation from the expected standards can trigger criticism, speculation, or scandal. In this environment, private indulgences, strategic networking, or extravagant socializing are rarely private in their impact. They have consequences that ripple far beyond the individual, affecting both perception and credibility. This context makes the revelations about Meghan Markle's Soho House connections and lavish pre-royal lifestyle particularly intriguing. On one hand, there are palace ceremonies, formal, highly choreographed events that showcase tradition, decorum, and measured presentation. State dinners, garden parties, official tours, and royal ceremonies all operate under strict codes of conduct. Attire, speech, posture, and even facial expressions are often meticulously considered to uphold the dignity and authority of the monarchy. These events are the public face of royalty, designed to convey stability, elegance, and continuity. Every action is carefully managed to align with centuries-old expectations of propriety and restraint. The audience watching these events doesn't just see individuals, they see symbols of the monarchy itself, and the stakes are high. Even small missteps can spark headlines, rumors, or long-lasting debates about the family's image. In stark contrast, Meghan's pre-royal lifestyle, as revealed through photos, insider accounts, and reports, shows a world of indulgence, luxury, and social strategy. Private yacht trips gliding across sparkling waters, champagne toasts under the sun, and exclusive Soho House parties with dim lighting, sleek interiors, and elite gatherings paint a picture of freedom and access that is almost the opposite of royal formality. These events were designed for influence, networking, and enjoyment among peers of similar social status, but they lacked the rigid protocols and expectation of discretion that govern palace life. In these environments, charm, personal connections, and strategic positioning carry far more weight than ceremonial poise or adherence to tradition. While palace events emphasize duty, restraint, and public perception, Soho House parties and private gatherings prioritize visibility within elite networks, relationship building, and personal branding. The difference between the two worlds couldn't be more pronounced, and it's easy to see how transitioning from one to the other could create tension. This tension is not hypothetical, it is very real. For the royal family, someone stepping into this environment carries with them a past that may not always align with royal norms. Meghan's comfort and familiarity with high-level, exclusive social settings, and her ability to maneuver strategically among the elite, could raise internal concerns. Staff and family members might wonder whether past behaviors, affiliations, or social strategies could conflict with the values and image of the monarchy. There could be subtle worries about public perception. Will the public interpret lavish private experiences as indulgence or privilege? Could previously unseen aspects of her lifestyle be sensationalized by the media, creating narratives that challenge the family's carefully curated image? Latent embarrassment is also a factor. For a family that prizes tradition, protocol, and discretion, the knowledge that a member has actively participated in highly visible, elite social networks before joining the family could be awkward or sensitive to navigate behind closed doors.
Being difficult to work for, and alleged bullies as their 11th, yes, 11th publicist has departed for greener pastures.
The management of royal image is a complex and delicate art, one that requires balancing transparency with privacy, authenticity with decorum. When private histories or social connections surface in ways that are unexpected or sensationalized, the stakes are high. Meghan's Soho House photos, for example, don't just depict luxury. They challenge the narrative of humility and modesty often associated with the royal family. For an institution that has spent decades cultivating an image of disciplined grace and restraint, the appearance of a future member engaging freely in high-profile, glamorous social environments presents a potential friction point. Royal advisors and communication teams are acutely aware that public perception matters. How the media frames a story can influence not only individual reputations, but also the credibility and standing of the monarchy itself. Every headline, every viral image, and every social media debate becomes part of a larger conversation about the family, their values, and their role in modern society. Media scrutiny amplifies these tensions. In today's fast-paced digital world, every private photo, casual comment, or unguarded moment can be captured, analyzed, and broadcast globally in minutes. Meghan's past, whether intentionally curated or simply lived, is now under a microscope, dissected for inconsistencies, perceived contradictions, or evidence of strategic self-presentation. The juxtaposition between palace duties and private indulgences provides fertile ground for media outlets eager to explore narratives of contradiction, privilege, or manipulation. Headlines focusing on the lavishness of pre-royal life, the exclusivity of Soho House, and her strategic social positioning can easily fuel public debate and influence opinion. For the monarchy, this isn't just about a personal story. It's about how those stories affect the family's credibility, legitimacy, and public trust.
To deal with one very serious reality, which is that they are the problem. It's not the British press. It is not the British people. It's not the royal family. It's not the American press. It is nobody else but Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, who...
The implications for the monarchy are significant. Historically, royal credibility relies heavily on perception. The public must believe in the family's integrity, duty, and moral grounding. Any hint that a member's past behaviors or social strategies diverge from these expectations risks undermining that perception. In Meghan's case, the images and revelations about her pre-royal life prompt questions. Does participation in elite, luxurious social circles conflict with the values expected of a royal? Can the public reconcile the story of a modest, relatable actress with that of a woman accustomed to exclusive events and high-level networking? Even if the lifestyle itself is not inherently problematic, the secrecy, curation, and eventual revelation of these details can create perception challenges, both for her personally and for the monarchy as a whole. Internal discussions likely consider how such revelations might be mitigated or contextualized. Advisors may weigh the balance between public understanding and institutional values, debating how to respond or whether to respond at all. They may also reflect on how to integrate a member whose prior life demonstrates sophistication, influence, and strategic social navigation, all of which, while impressive, diverge from the expected royal model of restraint and discretion. The goal is to manage narrative, protect reputation, and maintain confidence in the institution, all while acknowledging the individual's past experiences and abilities. Ultimately, the story of Meghan Markle's pre-royal lifestyle and the Soho House revelations underscores the delicate balance the monarchy must maintain between tradition and modernity, between personal freedom and public expectation. Palace ceremonies are steeped in centuries of protocol and decorum, emphasizing continuity, restraint, and collective image management. In contrast, Meghan's past participation in lavish parties, exclusive clubs, and luxury events highlights autonomy, influence, and strategic positioning in elite social networks. The intersection of these worlds, where personal history meets institutional expectation, creates a natural tension that is as fascinating as it is complex. For the public, the media, and the royal family itself, these revelations spark questions about discretion, image, and credibility, reminding us that even centuries-old institutions must navigate the human realities of history, individuality, and perception.